All right, welcome to our team call at Fanatix. Tonight we have an amazing guest speaker, Kim Carter. I'm going to introduce her in a second, but first I'm going to talk about announcements because there's so much going on right now. It's kind of crazy. I don't know about you guys, but the past month it was like really hard for me in my business, and I want to be real and open with you guys, just to be relatable, to let you know that top coaches do struggle. Coaches with a lot of success struggle. And I was struggling a lot last month. But I am back. I have a lot of momentum that I've picked back up. And I am ready to rock and roll. But I just wanted to let you know what happens. It's not always easy having success. And just letting you know, I've been in the trenches with you. And it's just not easy. I'm inviting like a mad woman. I am recruiting. I'm doing everything that you are doing times like 10. So the point of me sharing that is just letting you know that the key to getting back that momentum is working your butt off, taking this seriously, remembering why you started and pushing through it. I know we all fall off at times and we have life that happens to us. Trust me, I have a lot that goes on with responsibility and whatnot. But the key is getting back on and realizing why we started this and our mission in the first place. And not letting it fall off too long, because that can really be detrimental to your business. So anyways, moving on to announcements, like I said, now's the time to set yourself up for the new year. And that's why I realized I need to get back on the train, because what I do this month is going to, kind of steer the direction of my business into January and February and March. And that is our biggest time in this business, coming into the new year and releasing the products that are about to happen. So quarter fours, November 1st, I'm already building my contact list. If you guys are not doing this, you need to get on it. I created an event. I know a lot of other leaders from our team have created their own event to kind of expose people, share videos about the program, share transformations about it. And the last program, Country Heat, this worked wonders for all my prospects. So I share the event link, and I make sure that I'm sharing this, in the post on my timeline about the program coming up, and just sharing about that and little tidbits and little nuggets. So get that link, keep it around, because that can be a great way for people to press on it and be invited into the group. So that should be on your to-do list right now. I know that's on my to-do list to build that momentum up for the program, because as you guys know, new programs really build volume. It builds your income. It really gives you that volume to take you to the next level in your business. And I know for every program that has been released in the past, my business has exploded a couple months after that, because the momentum from taking customers to coaches and building our team, the bigger picture here. So even if you think, well, I don't really care about MA workout style, workouts, trust me. And my coach has always told me, Christina, stay with the beach body flow, right? Country Heat, I'll be honest, that was not my thing. I tried it, but guess what? I got a bunch of really cool people that had great results. They loved country dancing, and they turned into coaches. So you just never know who you're going to bring on that has a different style workout than you. So definitely get on board with that. You want to promote every single new program coming out. The National Wake Up Call, if you didn't listen to, I think it was an awesome call, especially for me where I am right now in my business, about recommitting. And no matter where you are in your business, there's always going to be times, even if you are, you have tons of momentum and you're fully committed, there's going to be times where you're going to fall off and you're going to let life happen to you, and you're going to need to recommit to your goals. And I think this is so good moving into the holidays when people just fall off and, going into the new year. So listen to that wake up call. You can listen on to podcasts. You can listen to the replay. It's like so fast and so simple. It's like 20 minutes when you actually fast forward to listen to Raina. If you get Success Club this month, you win a podcast with Eric Qualman. He is a social media and technology expert. I know I always get tons of little nuggets out of those podcasts that they do. Super Saturday, get registered to one around you. I know we have tons of new coaches and you're wondering what Super Saturday is. It's just basically a fun mini event where we get together every quarter and we just rally up our energy and have a lot of fun doing a workout, hearing a corporate video. In Miami here, we are going all out with our theme is knockout, like finish the year and knock it out. And it's going to be awesome. So get to one near you. That's going to be October 30th or 29th, I believe. Ours is on a Sunday here. But yeah, that's really it for announcements. Success Club, there's no reason why you shouldn't hit it with all of our awesome specials that we have. Every program is basically $140. So Kim Carter, first of all, I really admire Kim because she's just a very real person, I would say. She's just honest and very open and humble and sweet, and I just see her as a very good person and someone to really admire and look up to in this business. She's had tremendous success. I'm going to name her accolades, but she's definitely a coach that I admire from Diesel Nation. Her coach is Emily Hawkins. Is that right? She was on Diamond Fire, and she's created her own team. But she is a 6-star Diamond Coach lifetime. She's a 1-star in her second CBC. She's a Success Club legend, so she's been in Success Club 37 months in a row consecutively. So she's had a lot of success, and I know she's had ups and downs in her business, like most people, like myself. Last month was terrible. She is an elite coach, 2015, and she's been a coach for 3 years. So she's had tons of success. So let's open our hearts, our minds, get, some notes and a pen out, put your phones away, and just, let's welcome her. So welcome, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am honored to be speaking on your team's call. It's exciting. So I hope I live up to expectations, but I am right there with Danielle when you talk about that sometimes things are a struggle. Like, I feel like this whole year for me has been a struggle. All of that stuff, all the accolades that she named off, that all pretty much happened last year, except for the Success Club part. Obviously that's been, I've always hit Success Club. Like, that's non-negotiable, but this year has been really hard for me. I had a baby in December, and so I feel like the whole adjusting to the new mom thing was way harder than what I thought it was going to be. I don't know what the heck I expected, but anyway, it really kind of knocked the wind out of me. But I'm getting things back, and I think, one thing that Danielle kind of wanted me to talk about, and one thing that I tend to harp on all the time, is consistency. And I think it goes right, along with, yes, I've had a hard year, and no, I have not worked as hard as far as like time-wise, as many hours in the day this year as I did, say, last year, but I've been consistent. I have been consistent since day one of coaching for me 3 years ago. Every single day, people see me posting something. And it's not all Beachbody, it's just life in general, but there's usually 1 or 2 health or fitness or Beachbody or something related posts in there. I'm one that fitness is a big thing for me, and I kind of use my own timeline as my accountability for my own workouts. So yeah, I've got a workout post on there pretty much every single day, and I have for almost 3 years now. And so people know that I am consistent with this, and they know that, this is a lifestyle for me, and they know that they can come to me when they're ready to start their journey. So I guess that's just one of the biggest points for me. It's so important, is just being consistent. Even if everything else is going crazy, life is happening, things that are completely out of your control, be on your own journey and share that with everybody. If they don't know what you're doing, they don't know, to ask you for help. They don't know that you're a coach. They don't know that you're living this healthy lifestyle. Like, if they don't know that, how are they going to even ask you about it, So for me, that's just, and I tell it, my team is probably so sick of hearing it, but consistency is key. It really, truly is key. And I harp on that so much now because honestly, that is one of the only things that has gotten me through this whole year is my consistency last year and the year before. And, you know, again, me staying consistent with everything, even with having a new baby. So, you know, I still invite, you know, of course I still invite, but I also have a lot of people that have been following me for, you know, honestly, a year or two now that they're just now ready to say something to me, or they're just now ready to make the decision to start their own health journey with whatever program it is, in whatever capacity it is. You know, maybe all they can do is Shakeology. Maybe they just need help, you know, with healthy eating. I mean, whatever it is, but they know that I'm somebody that they can trust and that they can come to. So that is just so, so important. And, you know, another thing that I talk to my team about all the time, you never know who's watching you. People that never like your posts, they never comment on a single thing that's health and fitness related. I will have those people just randomly message me completely out of the blue, like people that I have not even thought about in forever, like since high school, you know? And they'll just shoot me a message like, hey, I've been following you for a year now. I'm like, what? How did I have no clue that you were even like looking at my stuff, you know, but they've never liked a single thing. They've never commented on anything. So you just never know what's going through people's minds. And so again, consistency, it's just huge. It is so, so important. And that's how we hit Success Club every month. That's how, you know, we end up growing our businesses, is talking about this opportunity from all aspects, from the health and fitness aspect and from the coaching aspect. Because again, you never know what each individual person needs to hear. I guess it was last year, I had 2 different coaches that randomly came to me. Again, they had been following me for a year and I had no idea. And they both came to me for the coaching opportunity. And one of them called me up and she's like, hey, Kim. Actually, she sent me a message and asked if she could call me. She's like, hey, Kim, so I quit my job today and I want to do what you do. I was like, you did what? Like, you already quit your job? Are you crazy? And she is one of my strongest leaders on my team right now, you know? So, and I had no clue that she was even looking at what I was doing. So you just never know. You've got to talk about all aspects of everything. And just, you know, kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit and share your passion for what this lifestyle means to you, how it's helped you. Because again, you never know what each individual needs to hear. One day, one post just might click with somebody and it might make them message you. So that's a little bit on consistency. The first thing I wanted to talk about. Next thing, I know a lot of you guys had some questions as far as kind of talking to coaches and new coach prospects and kind of how you get these coaches started right. I've kind of been playing with this a little bit and coming up with some new systems that seem to be working really well for me right now. So I just kind of wanted to share those little tips with you. As far as one-on-one coach prospect calls, for me, this really is going to depend on each individual person. If it's somebody that, you know, kind of is more of the discount coach, you know, it's kind of a whole other conversation. Like you want to be sure they're enjoying their Shakeology and basically giving them all of the numbers. I am a math person, and so, well, not really, but I do like numbers. I give them all the numbers as far as how they're going to save money. I break it down for them, show them the math so that there's no question. You know, it's obvious, like, hey, this is how you save, you know, approximately $25 a month. In Tennessee, our tax is crazy, so it's not, they don't save quite as much as you guys, a lot of y'all do in Florida. But I break it down for them. If it's somebody that is wanting to work the business, or that I even just have a good feeling that they're going to make a good coach, maybe because they've been a really good challenger in a challenge group, I'll try to get them on the phone and talk to them about that and praise them a lot, compliment them on what they are already doing in the challenge group, especially if it's somebody that is already offering support and motivation to other members of your challenge group, and this person isn't even a coach yet. Like, that's a perfect coach right there. Like, oh my goodness, go and get that person. They're already doing what we do. So talk to them about that. Pretty much tell them, look, you're already doing what we do as a coach. I would love to, help to show you this opportunity and to share what this business and what this opportunity can do for you. And then kind of get into what they love about it, the changes that they have seen, in themselves from a health standpoint, so that they have, a good connection to our products. We want coaches that are really connected to our products and that love them and that have their own story with them. I am one that feels like my challengers, people that have actually gone through challenge groups and had, a good transformation. Maybe it was weight loss, maybe it was weight gain for some people, maybe it was help with, any other kind of health issues. Maybe it's just that they've got, all this extra crazy energy from Shakeology. Whatever their individual story is, like, they need to be connected with that and they need to know what that story is. I feel like to be able to really share their journey and to share this with other people. So those are the people that I go for. Talk about, just get down deep with why they love everything. Talk about what kind of goals they could see themselves having for this business. And try to dig deep with them. Like, try to get them to really, set those big, like, dream goals. Is it a dream house, a dream vacation, like the big stuff, not just little goals that you can hit in a few months, but like the big stuff, and get them thinking really big and outside of their comfort zone. And talk to them all about that. Another thing that I do on these prospect calls, I always kind of share my story with these coaches, or potential coaches, I guess. I try not to go into too much detail. And again, it kind of depends on the individual person and how much they personally know about me anyway. But I tell them how much this has meant for me and what this has done for me and my family, both from a health perspective, but for me personally, a lot of it is more from a financial perspective. I got out of my veterinary career. A lot of you guys probably don't know this, but I was a veterinarian, and I ended up selling my practice and was able to do that because of Beachbody. And, in 2 years, Beachbody completely replaced my veterinary salary. And so that is a huge, huge deal to me, that I get to, stay home with our daughter and not have to go into work anywhere else. And, I get to be my own boss and be here for her and that sort of thing. And that's a big part of my story. And I make sure that everybody knows that, because I think a lot of people, and myself included, when I first heard about this business opportunity, I kind of thought, yeah, maybe it's like some fun play money, like on the side, but I didn't think it was a real, like, income career type opportunity. And it took a few months for that to really click with me. And so I think people need to hear that and need to know that that's really possible from somebody that they actually know, and if you are not at that point yet, that's totally fine. I used to share stories from, people in my upline, Jamie O'Rear, for example, people like Christina, share those personal stories from people that you actually know, if you are not at that, big point yourself yet. And then again, the biggest thing I think is complimenting them and just really seeing what they want out of this business. When I am talking to these coach prospects, I always try to get them into whatever it is I have coming up, whether it's typically a sneak peek. We run 1 to 2 a month, whether it's with just my smaller team or with our upline team. So I try to get them into a sneak peek so that they can see, the kind of a well-rounded version of what we actually do as a coach. And then I'm touching base with them, a couple times throughout that sneak peek, getting their questions, getting their feedback and that sort of thing, and kind of feeling them out. And then I always enroll them with a challenge pack, get them into a challenge group. and we go from there. Unless they've already been a challenger, then of course, we just do the coach and roll, the upgrade. So that's kind of what I talk about on the coach prospect call. I don't have any like scripted thing. I just kind of try to hit those points and talk to each individual person just as a person, as a friend, and feel them out and give them the information that they need to make the best decision. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about is kind of getting coaches started right. And this is not easy. I feel like I've tried a lot of different things and I have failed at a lot of different things with getting coaches started. I have tried just putting people in one big Facebook group where we do, a new training every month. And it's hard to get people to engage in that. They might engage for the first week or so, and then, people tend to like fall off. So it's like, what do you do? Do you like stalk them with messages or what? I've tried doing a self-paced training, which initially went pretty well, but again, that's kind of fallen off too, and nobody actually does any of the training. So what I'm doing now, it's a little bit more work on my part, but in the last couple of coaches that I've had that I've tried it this way, it seems to be working well. So I have the template that is in my self-paced training group, and it's broken down into, I think it's like 25 or 30 separate lessons. And I pretty much send them, as they coach and roll, I send them the new coach welcome email. And it's a lot like what Becky sends. I think she had that whole template in the Diesel Nation coaching guidebook, and it kind of walks them through the online office, doing the welcome tour in there, kind of finding your website, setting up your websites, that sort of thing. So they do all of that. And then I send them just a preseason little post that's kind of like what to expect out of these lessons that I'm going to send. And I do this through email so that I can send them an email, they can respond back to the email, and I have it all in my email so that I can save it in folders and that sort of thing. And then each day, at the beginning, I will send them like lesson 1. They complete lesson 1. They ask me questions on lesson 1. They say that they're ready for the next training. So then I send lesson 2. Same thing. They email me back. I go over any questions that they might have. And I do this throughout the whole entire training. Yes, it is more work on my part, but what I'm finding is that it keeps me more engaged with each individual coach. Now, I'm not one of these people that sponsors like 20 or 30 coaches a month. I might have, 4 or 5, if that, new coaches that actually want to work the business, that aren't just discount coaches, but are business builders per month. So it's really not that much to do. And I feel like I have a much better one-on-one connection with each individual person, and I can address their questions and concerns. And I just know where they are in the training versus just throwing them in a group and, being like, well, who's read what? Who has read what posts? Who actually got anything out of this? Who has questions that they're just not asking? So I feel like this is working a lot better for me and my new coaches anyway. It's just keeping us connected a lot more. Things that I talk about them at first, of course, their why and their goals. And I let them know up front that they're going to change. Their why that they have on day 1 when they start coaching is not going to be the same, a year from now. Things are going to evolve. Things are going to change. And that's perfectly normal. And they need to be open to that. So I tell them that, up front. I, of course, also tell them up front that this is not an easy business. I probably tell them this on that coach prospect call. This is not something that you're going to jump into and in 2 months you're going to be making like tons of money. Like that's not the way it works. And I don't want anybody to have that expectation coming in, because as soon as they come in and they're not making, $2,000 a month in the second month, they're going to quit. Like if that's what they thought this was going to be. So I just kind of address that on the front end. You've got to be in it for the long haul. You've got to actually want to put in some work and know that you're going to have to work for this. I do a getting started right call with them pretty early on after, they get into this training. And, I talk about these things, their why, their goal. I usually like to talk about them setting up a free group. or maybe joining one of my free groups that I'm running for the month, or one of our teammates' free groups. It doesn't have to be something that they set up completely on their own. I feel like that's, for my coaches, typically is a really good way for them to step out there and start inviting people without having the pressure of, hey, I want you to join me in doing this, but you have to buy something from me, So I feel like it's kind of a good icebreaker for them. And a lot of them get a really great response to a first free group. And then they're building their contact list with those people. And those are the people that they're really focusing on staying in touch with. Those are the people that, they know want to have some sort of a healthier or more active lifestyle. And they can follow up with them to invite them to a challenge group the following month. That's kind of typically how I do it. Or the following, maybe it's 2 weeks later if you had a free group that was only 5 days or 7 days or something like that. But they can take that group of people and then use that as their contact list to start inviting to their challenge groups. And that gives them a good starting point. Another thing with them, I feel like, and I have totally burned myself with this in the past, don't push your new coaches too hard. I have been so guilty of this. Like in the past, I've had a new coach sign up that I just know, has it in her, and she's got the personality, she has the drive, she can be some awesome business builder. And I've pushed so hard that I think I totally overwhelmed them, and they're like, yeah, I'm not doing this, and ended up going nowhere. So I have learned to kind of, pull back the reins a little bit and really go at their pace. And that goes back to listening to what they want out of this and not pushing your own goals onto them, because they might be completely different, and that's okay. But you need to meet them where they are. And, if they, if they want certain things that you might not want, or well, that's not really the word, but they might not just be at the level that you want them to be. And that's okay. You've got to meet them where they are, basically, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Don't push them so hard that they feel like they're getting overstressed about it, and that they feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to, do like 30 minutes worth of homework for this Beachbody thing, and it just kind of stresses them out. So I have learned, just, again, meet them where they are, go at their pace. And that's not to say, not to set goals and kind of push them, just be careful about it. So, the other thing is, and I've learned this too over the last couple of years, don't be hard on yourself if somebody doesn't end up, building the business the way that you saw them building it. And again, that goes back to, they might not have the same goals as you, and that's okay. Each one of us is different. We all have our own individual lives and individual reasons for wanting to do this. So I tend to be one of those that I get really down on myself if, so-and-so isn't rank advancing as fast as I know she can. Like, it's okay. It's not your fault that they're not building their business as quickly as you think they could be or they should be. And again, that's just meet them where they are and be okay with that, and be there to support them and to guide them, and, to be their biggest advocate, and for them to know that you're there as a friend as well, for them to just, talk to you when they need you. So those are kind of my biggest tips. Another thing that it's not really a tip, but just a little thankful thing about Beachbody. And I don't know, Danielle, if you even know a lot of this, but I have been struggling seriously the last couple of months. This whole vet practice thing that I sold 2 years ago has all come back to kind of bite me in the butt, because the people defaulted on their loans. So we had to repossess the whole clinic and the vehicle and all this junk. And none of this is known on social media yet, because I can't post about it because we're all friends with the same people. So it has been a nightmare. And the one thing that it just really hit me today. I'm like, I had this income from Beachbody, And I had this income from selling the old vet practice as well. And now one of those incomes has completely been ripped away. And for me, if I didn't have Beachbody, like I would have zero income right now. None. We would be living just on my husband's salary. And so that just really made me think, oh my gosh, like it makes me so, so thankful for the hard work that I have put in the last 3 years and to where I have gotten, because man, things would be really, really scary if it wasn't for Beachbody. So just know that the hard work that you're doing right now is totally worth it. And I don't know, it's such an amazing opportunity, and just be thankful for what we have with this. So I think we had a question in here too, so I'm going to just pull up the chat. Have I found more success with email versus Facebook Messenger? As far as with speaking to my coaches, or like new prospects, or with the coaches, I am doing email as far as my new training stuff. Yes, coach training lessons. I'm doing email with that. I feel like it's a lot to send in Messenger. Messenger it squishes things on the little screen. I just think it looks better in email. So I've been doing that on email only. So anyway, that's kind of my main tips on those topics. Anyway, if y'all have other questions, certainly ask away.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kim. Yes, if you guys have any questions, post them in the chat. I just want to recap on a couple things. Consistency is key. That is so very true, because look at the 4 vital behaviors. So many people take those for granted, and really that's all you got to do, right, to be successful. Invite, get Success Club, personal development, and people coming out of the woodworks, you said, and it's so true. I had someone come to me a couple months ago, and they said they were watching me this whole 3 years. I'm like, why didn't you come to me before? Why are you just now coming to me? But it's so true. I feel like people just have to be ready. They have to be exposed a certain amount of time. So everything you're doing is not going to waste. If someone doesn't like or comment on something, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and where they are in their journey, in their life. So I love that you said that. That is so true. I love that you said that people need to see this as a real opportunity and not just as a discount. Like, look what this has provided you. You used to be a veterinarian, right? And now Beachbody has taken over, and this is your main source of income. So it just shows you the potential, and people need to hear that. If you just present the discount, you're kind of discounting what this can really provide, and I feel like that's kind of doing a disservice to you and to the business. I love the training thing you said. I'm going to ask you more questions about that. And that's it. Do you guys have any questions? No? If they do, I'll send them to you. But thank you so much, Kim. Everything you said is like right on, and I totally relate to everything you said. So thank you so much. This was recorded, guys, so I will be posting it in the TV.